How's it going, everybody? The PlayStation Summer Sale is running from now until July 29th, and there's a ton of absolute bangers on sale for up to 90% off. Every day I put together lists of the top games you can get at a deep discount, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's video. Alright, with that out of the way, that's enough yapping from me, so let's get straight into it. For $40, 34% off, Astro Bot is a supersized space adventure where Astro must rescue his stranded crew and rebuild the PS5 mothership after it's attacked by his galactic nemesis. Explore over 50 handcrafted planets filled with secrets and challenges, dash and rocket punch through thrilling obstacles, and team up with iconic PlayStation heroes while using all new power-ups and interactive environments to bring the universe to life. It's a 95 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $40, 20% off, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is a turn-based RPG set in a Belle Epoque-inspired world, where the paintress erases anyone who reaches her newly painted number, pushing Expedition 33 into a desperate final mission. Its reactive combat blends traditional strategy with real-time dodging, parrying, re-aim targeting, and rhythmic combo timing, letting you tailor builds through gear, skills, and clever party synergies that reward precision. It's a 92 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $40, 43% off, Stellar Blade is a fast-paced action-adventure where Eve returns to a desolate Earth to reclaim it from the malevolent Naytiba and save humanity. Slash through remnants of civilization with graceful yet brutal combat combos, explore breathtaking, highly detailed post-apocalyptic environments brought to life on PS5, and unlock a gripping, emotionally charged story filled with mysteries and shocking revelations. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $30, 50% off, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice Game of the Year Edition is a brutally rewarding action-adventure set in late 1500s Sengoku Japan, where you play a shinobi seeking vengeance and honor. This edition includes the Reflection and Gauntlet of Strength boss challenge modes, Remnants allowing players to view and rate your actions, and 3 unlockable cosmetic skins, adding layers of replayability and challenge. It's a 90 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $32, 35% off, Split Fiction is a fast-paced co-op adventure where 2 writers, Mio and Zoe, get trapped inside their own stories after a device meant to extract ideas goes haywire in spectacular fashion. Its split-screen design demands tight coordination as you and a partner swap between sci-fi and fantasy worlds, mastering new abilities, solving clever puzzles, and tackling wildly different challenges that constantly remix the gameplay experience. It's a 91 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $25, 50% off, Red Dead Redemption is an open-world western action-adventure that follows former outlaw John Marston as he's forced to hunt down his old gang to protect his family. With a sprawling journey across the American West and Mexico, a powerful character-driven narrative, and the included Undead Nightmare expansion that reimagines the world with a zombie apocalypse, it delivers one of Rockstar's most celebrated experiences. It's a 94 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $15, 75% off, Red Dead Redemption 2 is an open-world western that follows Arthur Morgan and the Vanderlyn gang as they struggle to survive while the modern world closes in around their increasingly fragile way of life. You'll roam a detailed frontier packed with cinematic story missions, dynamic shootouts, and immersive systems that make exploration, survival, and conversation feel natural, reactive, and full of small environmental touches. It's a 95 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 200 hours to platinum. For $29, 58% off, Gran Turismo 7 is a premium racing simulator that celebrates 25 years of the series with a deep, authentic driving experience built for both solo and competitive players. With over 400 meticulously detailed cars, more than 90 track routes featuring dynamic weather, and the return of GT simulation mode alongside competitive sport mode, it blends car culture, progression, and high-level racing into one expansive package. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 90 hours to platinum. For $28, 60% off, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a grounded first-person action RPG set in 15th century Bohemia, following Henry of Skalitz on a gripping journey of revenge, identity, and loyalty against a backdrop of political unrest and social upheaval. Explore a richly realized medieval world of dense forests, bustling towns, and morally complex choices, while shaping Henry's skills, reputation, and relationships through reactive RPG systems. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 130 hours to platinum. For 20 bucks, 67% off. Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy, the definitive edition, brings 3 iconic stories to a new generation with enhanced textures, draw distances, and GTA 5 style controls for a more modernized experience. Explore bustling Liberty City with Claude, neon-soaked Vice City with Tommy Vercetti, and early San Andreas as CJ, with recent patches bringing them more in line with the original experiences. It's a 95 average on game rankings, average trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 130 hours to get all 3 platinums. For 35 bucks, 50% off. Silent Hill F is a psychological horror adventure set in 1960s Japan, where Shimizu Hinako's town of Ebisugaoka is engulfed in a mysterious fog that transforms it into a nightmarish landscape. Explore twisted paths and eerie environments filled with hidden secrets, solve complex puzzles to unlock the town's dark mysteries, and confront grotesque monsters while uncovering a gripping story of doubt, regret, and inescapable choices. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For 40 bucks, 43% off. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach is an open-world action adventure where Sam Porter Bridges embarks on a journey beyond the United Cities of America to reconnect isolated communities and prevent humanity's extinction. With vast environments to cross, strategic cargo deliveries, and supernatural threats, you'll navigate dangerous terrain while using specialized tools and player-built structures to reconnect the world. It's a 90 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For 24 bucks, 20% off. Dispatch is a superhero workplace comedy set in modern-day Los Angeles, where you play Robert Robertson, aka Mecha Man, forced into a desk job at a superhero dispatch center after his mech suit is destroyed. Manage a roster of ex-supervillains seeking redemption, coordinate tactical emergency deployments across the city, and shape relationships through branching dialogue choices while balancing office drama and team upgrades. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For 21 bucks, 65% off. Persona 3 Reload is a reimagined RPG where you step into the shoes of a transfer student thrust into the mysterious dark hour, awakening powerful abilities while forging bonds that shape the fate of friends and the world. You'll explore this hidden hour, engage in turn-based combat against shadows, and balance daily life on Port Island, from attending school and part-time jobs to deepening relationships that influence the story. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For 30 bucks, 67% off. The Resident Evil Remake trilogy bundles 3 survival horror classics remastered with sharper graphics and smoother performance across PS4 and PS5, letting you survive Raccoon City's zombie streets and uncover Umbrella Corporation's secrets while battling bioorganic threats. This pack includes Resident Evil 2 Deluxe Edition, Resident Evil 3 with the classic costume pack, and Resident Evil 4 Gold Edition. It's an 88 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 100 hours to get all 3 platinums. For 20 bucks, 60% off. Death Stranding Director's Cut is an open-world action adventure from Hideo Kojima, where courier Sam Bridges traverses a fractured America to reconnect isolated cities after a supernatural cataclysm. You'll haul vital cargo across hostile terrain, confront spectral BTs, and engage with the social strand system in a uniquely asynchronous way that lets players indirectly support one another through shared structures and tools. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For 40 bucks, 34% off. Dying Light the Beast follows Kyle Crane, transformed by human and zombie DNA, seeking revenge on the man who tortured him while controlling his inner beast in the deadly Castor Woods. Blend open-world exploration, parkour, and primal combat through day-night cycles where danger escalates after sunset, switching between human and beast playstyles, driving off-road vehicles, and forming fragile alliances solo or in up to 4-player co-op. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 65 hours to platinum. For 30 bucks, 50% off. Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon is a high-octane mech action game that blends From Software's deep customization roots with their modern, aggressive combat design. With omnidirectional battles across massive stages, extensive mech part customization that directly alters movement and tactics, and multi-phase boss fights that demand precision and adaptability, it delivers a fresh yet familiar evolution of the series. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For 28 bucks, 60% off. Hitman World of Assassination is the definitive stealth action package, uniting Hitman, Hitman 2, and Hitman 3 into one massive collection spanning more than 20 global locations. Playing as Agent 47, you'll master the art of creative assassination with total freedom of approach, blending into crowds with disguises, manipulating dynamic NPC routines, and turning everyday objects into lethal opportunities to eliminate high-profile targets. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $10, 85% off, Star Wars Jedi Survivor continues Cal Kestis' journey in a third-person action adventure where the galaxy grows darker and more dangerous, forcing him to confront the Empire and survive against overwhelming threats at every turn. You'll master enhanced force powers, new lightsaber combat styles, and creative ability combos to take on challenging enemies in cinematic encounters that test timing, skill, and strategy. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $21, 30% off, Palworld is a wild, chaotic, and endlessly entertaining open-world survival game where you collect, befriend, and exploit mysterious creatures called pals to build, battle, and thrive in a dangerous world filled with poachers, hunger, and constant moral dilemmas. You can mount pals to soar across skies, sail the seas, or gallop through vast landscapes as you explore a massive ecosystem filled with secrets and rare species to capture. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $35, 30% off, Mafia The Old Country is a gritty third-person action adventure set in 1900 Sicily, where you play Enzo Favara rising through the ranks of the Teresi crime family. Explore dangerous, open-ended Sicily filled with rival families and opportunities, fight using period-accurate weapons like stilettos and luparas, and prove your loyalty through story-driven missions filled with betrayal, sacrifice, and rising power within the family. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $15, 40% off, Outer Wilds is an open-world mystery where you explore a solar system trapped in an endless time loop, uncovering secrets, hidden ruins, and ancient civilizations while piecing together the fate of a dying cosmos. You'll pilot your ship and navigate hazardous planets that change over time, from crumbling surfaces to shifting sand-covered cities, using gadgets to investigate signals, decode alien messages, and survive. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $15, 25% off, MIO Memories in Orbit is a beautiful Metroidvania where you awaken MIO, a nimble robot, to explore the mysterious vessel, a massive technological ark overgrown with vegetation and rogue machines. Explore a captivating, interconnected universe full of secrets and curiosities, earn new abilities to climb, glide, and master movement, and face over 30 enemies and 15 guardian bosses while uncovering the vessel's lost memories. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $28, 60% off, Silent Hill 2 is a haunting psychological survival horror remake that follows James Sunderland as he returns to the fog-shrouded town after receiving a letter from his deceased wife. Rebuilt with modern visuals, immersive sound design, and an over-the-shoulder camera, the town feels more oppressive as you explore expanded locations, solve puzzles, and confront manifestations born from James' fractured psyche. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $15, 25% off, Hollow Knight Silksong is a beautifully challenging action adventure where you play as Hornet, a lethal hunter drawn into a vast new kingdom ruled by Silk and Song. You'll explore intricate new regions filled with acrobatic platforming, fast needle-focused combat, brutal boss fights, and layered environmental storytelling, while mastering new abilities, tools, traps, and movement systems unique to Hornet's agile fighting style. It's a 91 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 65 hours to platinum. For $20, 50% off. Spider-Man Game of the Year Edition is the definitive superhero action adventure from Insomniac Games, including the full game plus the complete DLC story arc, The City That Never Sleeps. Plays an experienced Peter Parker mastering combat and web swinging across New York City, while balancing his chaotic personal life and career, facing powerful villains, and protecting the city from escalating threats. It's an 88 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $39, 35% off, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake bundles reimaginings of the first two entries in the Erdrick trilogy, with the original sending a descendant of Erdrick to defeat the Dragon Lord, and the sequel following a band of young royals as they unite to push back a new invasion plunging the world into darkness. Both classics are brought to life with gorgeous HD 2D visuals blending retro charm with modern presentation. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For For $40, 20% off, Romeo is a Dead Man is a third-person action-adventure starring Romeo Stargazer, an FBI space-time police agent hunting criminals who shattered space-time while searching for his missing girlfriend, Juliet. Switch between swords and guns to wipe out waves of enemies, absorb their blood to unleash the special attack Bloody Summer, and strengthen your weapons as Romeo faces stronger foes across an unpredictable, chapter-driven story. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $35, 50% off, Battlefield 6 is the latest all-out warfare entry, featuring a global-scale campaign across the Sahara, Gibraltar, and New York, alongside large-scale multiplayer modes including Conquest, Breakthrough, and Rush. Fight in high-intensity infantry combat, aerial dogfights, and tank battles using the new kinesthetic combat system, and unleash creativity in the revamped Battlefield Portal sandbox with NPC scripting and customizable game modes. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 75 hours to platinum. For $17, 75% off, Star Wars Outlaws is an open-world action-adventure game where you play as scoundrel Kay Vess, risking it all to gain freedom and carve out a new life while navigating the galaxy's dangerous criminal underworld. Explore bustling cities and sprawling outdoor landscapes on your speeder, take on high-stakes missions for crime syndicates, and pilot your ship, the Trailblazer, in thrilling dogfights against the Empire and rival outlaws. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $36, 40% off, the first Berserker, Khazan, is a hardcore action RPG set 800 years before Dungeon Fighter Online, following General Khazan on a brutal path of revenge with deep combat, flexible skill respecking, and a vast armory of weapons and gear sets. Conquer memorable boss battles demanding precise timing and adaptation, then extend the challenge with New Game Plus, Ultimate Challenge Mode, and Gauntlet modes Great General's Crucible and Berserker's Bloodshed. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $29, 58% off, Monster Hunter Wilds is an action RPG where environments transform drastically, challenging you to hunt monsters, craft weapons and armor, and uncover connections between humans and creatures of the Forbidden Lands. Explore regions with shifting weather and periods of plenty, fallow, and inclemency where monsters adapt and demand evolving strategies, while forging bonds with partners and allies. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 120 hours to platinum. For $15, 50% off, Shinobi Art of Vengeance is a 2D action platformer with hand-drawn visuals, putting you in the shoes of legendary ninja Joe Musashi on a quest to avenge his clan after their village is destroyed and kin turned to stone. Master ninja arts, including the katana borozuki, kunai, ninjutsu, and ninpo to execute devastating combos, acquire amulets for enhanced abilities, and use ningi tools to overcome obstacles and uncover hidden paths. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $17, 50% off, the Bloodborne Complete Edition bundle is an action RPG where players hunt nightmarish creatures and uncover the dark secrets of Yharnam, a cursed city plagued by a deadly endemic illness and haunted by unspeakable horrors. Players explore treacherous streets, battle grotesque foes, and survive the horrors of a gothic world while also experiencing the Old Hunters DLC, revealing the sinister past of Yharnam's hunters. It's a 91 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $19, 35% off, Marvel Cosmic Invasion is a retro-inspired side-scrolling beat-em-up where Earth's mightiest heroes and cosmic champions unite to stop Annihilus. Battle from New York City to the Negative Zone using the Cosmic Swap tag team system to chain flashy dual hero combos, unleash character-specific special attacks, and fight through stages brought to life with vibrant full-color pixel art inspired by classic Marvel comics. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $20, 50% off, Street Fighter VI is the latest evolution of the iconic fighting franchise, powered by Capcom's RE engine and featuring 3 immersive modes, World Tour, Fighting Ground, and Battle Hub for both casual and competitive players. Step into the shoes of 18 legendary and new fighters, each redesigned with cinematic specials, unique abilities, and a range of classic, modern, or dynamic controls to master combat at any skill level. It's a 91 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $35, 30% off, Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly Remake is a haunting Japanese survival horror where twin sisters become lost in an abandoned village filled with vengeful spirits, fighting back using the camera obscura, a device that captures ghosts through photography. Rebuilt with overhauled visuals, 3D audio, new filters, focus and zoom mechanics, and added side stories, it's a faithful yet meaningfully expanded revival of the beloved horror classic. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $28, 30% off, Satisfactory is a first-person open-world factory-building game set on a vast 30-square-kilometer alien planet where you harvest resources, construct sprawling multi-story factories, and automate production lines with conveyor belts, pipes, trucks, and trains in an ever-expanding industrial empire. Explore diverse biomes, encounter local wildlife, and build solo or with friends in co-op as you optimize your factory to perfection for Fix-It Inc. It's a 91 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 230 hours to platinum. For $30, 50% off, Trails in the Sky First Chapter is a full 3D remake of the landmark first entry in the Trail series, following Estelle and Joshua as they journey across the Liberal Kingdom in search of their mysteriously disappeared father. The remake features seamless transitions between field action and turn-based combat, dynamic showcases of each character's crafts and elemental arts, and extensive side content woven throughout the beautifully reimagined kingdom. It's a 91 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. For $19, 25% off, Absolum is a fast-paced side-scrolling beat-em-up blended with roguelite progression, set in the original fantasy world of Talum. Play as a roster of unique heroes, each with distinct combat styles, magical powers, and explosive abilities, as you fight through richly detailed environments, tackle unpredictable enemy encounters, and explore multiple paths in a quest to overthrow the tyrannical Sun King Azra. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $20, 72% off, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is a high-octane first-person shooter that plunges players into a tense global conflict, blending cinematic storytelling, tactical combat, and fast-paced multiplayer action. You step into the boots of iconic operators from Task Force 141, taking part in small-scale infiltration missions, highly classified operations, and globe-trotting campaigns that test strategy, skill, and teamwork. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $15, 50% off, Hi-Fi Rush is a rhythm-based action game where wannabe rock star Chai rebels against an evil tech megacorp using music-synced combat, colorful characters, and constant fourth-wall humor. Set in a vibrant, animated world, every jump, dodge, and attack snaps to the beat as you chain flashy combos, team-up attacks, stylish finishers, and over-the-top boss fights backed by licensed tracks and a streamer-friendly original soundtrack. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $35, 50% off, Borderlands 4 brings intense action and billions of wild weapons to the planet Kairos, letting you choose one of 4 new Vault Hunters, wield powerful action skills, and unite the oppressed people against the ruthless tyrant Timekeeper. Double jump, glide, dodge, and grapple through dynamic combat, craft your build with deep skill trees, hop on a hoverbike to explore a world of warring factions, and play solo or with friends in co-op. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 120 hours to platinum. For $20, 75% off, the Resident Evil 7 Gold Edition and Village Gold Edition bundle delivers 2 survival horror experiences, following Ethan Winters through a first-person journey of family tragedy, grotesque enemies, and tension. Across both games, you'll explore claustrophobic environments and haunted villages, solve intricate puzzles, manage scarce resources, and survive intense combat, with all DLC included. It's an 85 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 55 hours to get both platinums. For $32, 60% off, the Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth Twin Pack bundles Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, reimagining Cloud Strife's journey against Shinra and Sephiroth across 2 sprawling, story-rich chapters. Explore Midgar and beyond with real-time action combat, deep character customization, and dozens of side quests and minigames spanning a vastly expanded, richly detailed world. It's a 90 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 260 hours to finish both platinums. For $17, 50% off, The Alters is an ambitious sci-fi survival game where you play Jan Dolsky, the lone survivor of a crash-landed expedition on a hostile planet. Use Rapidium to create alternative versions of Jan shaped by a different crucial decision from his past, and navigate a branching narrative full of moral dilemmas, captivating character dynamics, and survival challenges while crafting items, gathering resources, and managing your base. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $21, 40% off, Sea of Stars is a turn-based RPG where you follow two children of the solstice who harness the power of the sun and moon to battle an ancient alchemist's monstrous creations and uncover hidden secrets. You'll explore lush islands, solve environmental puzzles, and engage in timing-based combat that rewards precise inputs, smart party synergy, and creative use of spells and combos across a richly crafted, retro-inspired world. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $14, 65% off, The Talos Principle Reawakened is a thought-provoking puzzle game where you explore a remastered simulation while uncovering philosophical mysteries about consciousness and existence. You'll experience the original game alongside the Road to Gehenna expansion and a new chapter, In the Beginning, meeting Alexandra Drennan and facing challenges that test both logic and humanity. It's an 88 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 35 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $20, 67% off, Hell Is Us is a tense third-person action adventure set in a war-torn, demon-haunted country where you must confront both human and supernatural threats while uncovering the shocking truth about your past. Explore a semi-open world with no map, compass, or quest markers, relying on your instincts to navigate, solve mysteries, and make choices that shape your journey through a landscape ravaged by civil war and a strange, deadly calamity. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $30, 50% off, Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 unifies the start of the series, bundling the original Metal Gear, Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, Metal Gear Solid with its VR missions, and remastered versions of Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Infiltrate fortresses with stealth and experience the series' cinematic story, with each title including a digital screenplay book and master book. It's a 93 average on game rankings, average trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 120 hours to finish all 3 games. For $28, 30% off, Marathon is a dark sci-fi extraction shooter set on the derelict colony of Tau Ceti 4, where you infiltrate hostile zones alone or with a crew to scavenge loot and battle rival runners and UESC security forces. 6 configurable runner shells, moddable weapons, and faction contracts offer deep build variety, while solo lobbies, Rook mode, and the raid-like Cryo Archive endgame add layers of replayability. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $18, 70% off, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance is a dark RPG where you play an Ahobino in post-apocalyptic Tokyo, wielding immense power to survive and shape the ongoing conflict between angels and demons. You'll experience 2 complete story paths while exploring sprawling wastelands, battling or befriending hundreds of demons, uncovering hidden secrets, and making impactful choices that determine the world's ultimate fate. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 150 hours to platinum. For $15, 40% off, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound fuses the classic side-scrolling lore of the original Ninja Gaiden series with the depth and intensity of modern 3D entries, creating an epic, thrilling adventure. Journey with Kenji Mozu as he rises to defend Hayabusa Village when the barrier between the human and demon world shatters during Ryu Hayabusa's absence, combining old-school pick-up-and-play action with modern precision. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $30, 25% off, Elden Ring Night Rain is a standalone action RPG set within the Elden Ring universe, reimagining its core design around a darker, more cooperative experience against an ever-changing night. You'll choose from uniquely skilled heroes with distinct abilities and playstyles, and team up in 3-player co-op where strengths combine into powerful synergies as you explore shifting landscapes shaped by a relentless environmental threat. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $15, 50% off, The Midnight Walk is a dark fantasy adventure built entirely in clay, following the Burnt One and their companion Potboy as they traverse a haunting world of light and shadow. Together, you'll explore 5 interwoven tales filled with monsters that crave Potboy's flame, eerie forests, forgotten ruins, and strange beings who blur the line between friend and foe, all presented through emotional storytelling and immersive stop-motion animation. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $35, 50% off. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is a 3D fighting spectacle that brings the Budokai Tenkaichi series to new heights, letting you control over 180 characters from Dragon Ball Z, Super, GT, and select movies, each with signature abilities and transformations. Engage in fast-paced battles with beam clashes, rush attacks, and ultimate moves, faithful to the anime, while testing your skills in online multiplayer or replaying iconic story moments. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $36, 40% off. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora Complete Edition bundles the main game, Season Pass, and From the Ashes expansion, following a Na'vi abducted by the RDA who, freed 15 years later, reconnects with their heritage across the western frontier. Customize your character, craft gear, bond with a Banshee for aerial combat, and play solo or in co-op, while the expansion follows warrior Solek seeking revenge against the ruthless Ash clan. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $16, 60% off. The Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition is the definitive way to play this RPG, including the base game and all DLC, exploring planets and settlements across Halcyon while shaping your character, story, and companions' fates. Engage in strategic combat against factions, rival corporations, and alien threats, enjoy enhanced graphics and new animations, and take advantage of a raised level cap for more ways to build your hero. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. For $14, 30% off. The 7th Guest Remake brings the iconic mystery adventure back to life, following 6 guests welcome to a mansion where toymaker Henry Stolf lurks in the shadows and a dark power hangs over the house. Explore dynamic, shifting environments through cinematic, volumetric video with live-action performances, solve handcrafted puzzles woven into the mansion's lore, and uncover hidden secrets as the house's horrors slowly close in around you. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $21, 70% off. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 is a third-person shooter hack-and-slash that lets you embody the superhuman and brutal might of a Space Marine, battling the galaxy's horrors with devastating weaponry and relentless tactics. Crush Tyranid swarms, defend humanity across epic solo missions, and coordinate with allies in intense 3-player co-op campaigns and PvE challenges, unlocking new skills, gear, and cosmetics. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $40, 60% off. The Kingdom Come Deliverance Saga bundle includes both historical RPGs, royal editions, and post-launch content, following Henry of Skalitz on a tale of revenge as he rises from blacksmith to the court of kings. Engage in first-person combat on foot, horseback, or through stealth, specializing in sword mastery, blunt weapons, or ranged attacks, and explore a medieval Europe that remembers every choice you make. It's an 81 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 230 hours to finish both games. For $30, 25% off. Lumines Arise is an addictive reinvention of the puzzle classic where every block pulses with music, triggering dazzling visuals synced to an eclectic soundtrack across over 35 stages spanning lush jungles, buzzing Tokyo streets, and surreal outer space environments. Match blocks and craft insane combos with the all-new burst mechanic, customize your Lumi avatar, and explore single-player modes and online multiplayer to test your skill. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $40, 43% off. Code Vein 2 is an action RPG in a world where revenants have become mindless horrors, sending you back through time with Lou, who can manipulate time, to prevent the world's collapse and alter key characters' fates. Drain and acquire blood from enemies to unleash a variety of skills, really customize weapons and builds to suit your battle style, and explore alongside powerful partner characters with unique abilities and deep connections. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $20, 20% off. Deltarune is the long-awaited parallel story to Undertale, inviting you into a mysterious dark world where your choices matter, whether you fight or spare your enemies, alongside new and familiar characters. Battle through action-packed, bullet hell-inspired encounters across surreal locations with sharply written moments blending humor, tension, and emotional weight, with chapters 1 through 4 included and future chapters planned as free updates. It's an 88 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $29, 58% off. God of War Ragnarok follows Kratos and Atreus on a mythic journey across the 9 realms, as they seek answers and prepare for the cataclysmic events of Ragnarok, risking everything to protect each other and confront looming threat. You'll explore stunning mythological landscapes while facing fearsome enemies ranging from wild beasts to vengeful Norse gods, mastering deadly combat with Kratos' Leviathan axe. It's a 92 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $14, 65% off, Spyro Reignited Trilogy brings the classic platforming adventures of the iconic Purple Dragon back with gorgeous HD visuals, re-recorded voice lines, and modernized controls throughout all 3 games. Across 3 fully remastered games, Spyro the Dragon, Ripto's Rage, and Year of the Dragon, you'll glide through vibrant worlds, rescue dragons, and take down mischievous villains in colorful fashion. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to get all 3 platinums. For $10, 34% off, Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartender Action is a stylish narrative-driven bartending sim set in a neon-soaked, rain-drenched dystopian city ruled by corporations, nanomachines, and corrupt enforcers. As Jill, a bartender at the small yet iconic Valhalla, you'll mix drinks for a cast of unforgettable characters, each with complex lives and intertwining stories that shift and unfold based on what you serve them rather than what you say. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $36, 40% off, Cronos The New Dawn is a survival action game set in a grim world where Eastern European brutalism meets retro-futurist technology, where you play as a traveler using time rifts to journey between a ravaged wasteland and 1980s Poland. Extract the essences of key people from the past using your harvester, bringing them into the future as companions, while battling nightmarish abominations that demand tactical thinking and resource management. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $17, 65% off, Sonic X Shadow Generations is a high-speed platforming collection combining a new Shadow the Hedgehog campaign with a remastered Sonic Generations, celebrating the franchise's past and present. Shadow's story introduces Doom powers like Chaos Control, enhanced combat, and hub exploration as you race through reimagined stages from his past to stop Black Doom, uncover secrets, and unlock abilities. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $15, 70% off, Trials of Mana is a fully remade action RPG that retells a classic fantasy tale where the world teeters on the brink as the mana tree begins to wither and ancient evils threaten total destruction. Choose your party from unique characters, each with their own story paths, abilities, class evolutions, and personal motivations, then dive into fast-paced, real-time combat in a branching narrative shaped by your team composition and choices. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $16, 60% off, Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition combines the base game along with all official add-ons, including Far Harbor, Automatron, and Nuka World, offering a complete post-apocalyptic experience. Set as the sole survivor of Vault 111, you decide the fate of the wasteland, choosing whether to join rival factions or go it alone while shaping your character's story through the special system and hundreds of perks. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $12, 50% off, Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector is an RPG where you play as a sleeper, an emulated human mind in an artificial body, on the run from both the corporation that created you and the gang that wants to control you. Commandeer a ship, recruit a diverse crew, and take on dangerous contracts across treacherous sectors as you chart your path through the Starward Belt, balancing survival with the pursuit of a future worth fighting for. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $21, 70% off, Atomic Heart is a first-person action-adventure set in an alternate Soviet utopia where humans once lived alongside loyal robots until a tragic accident unleashes mutant creatures, superpowered machines, and rebelling robots. Using your experimental power glove, blades, and cutting-edge weaponry, you'll fight frenetic, high-stakes battles, combine skills with environmental advantages, and upgrade your arsenal to survive. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $13, 85% off, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands Chaotic Great Edition is a chaotic fantasy adventure where bullets, magic, and broadswords collide in a whimsical, unpredictable world. Roll a multi-class hero and blast, slash, and cast your way through epic dungeons, outlandish monsters, and colossal bosses, while exploring a vibrant overworld full of bustling cities, mysterious forests, and hidden secrets waiting to be discovered. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $27, 40% off. Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon plunges you into a dark, open-world RPG where the myths of King Arthur have crumbled and Avalon teeters on the brink of ruin, filled with danger, intrigue, and haunting mysteries. You start as a nobody imprisoned in a damp underground cell, but your choices, alliances, and actions can spark meaningful change in this bleak, mysterious land plagued by Red Death and spreading weirdness. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $35, 30% off, Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn Edition delivers the base game and expansion, continuing the JRPG journey across Dana and Rena with stunning environments and a diverse cast. Engage in tactical combat while exploring dungeons and equipping enhanced weapons and costumes, as the expansion introduces Nazamil, a girl tied to the Ren and Danan conflict, guiding Alphen and his allies through adventures that test bonds and reshape the world's fate. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $16, 84% off, Sniper Elite 5 Complete Edition bundles the base game with Season Pass 1 and 2, offering unparalleled sniping, tactical combat, and an enhanced kill cam across immersive maps, many captured from real-world locations in stunning detail. Explore more of each map than ever with an improved traversal system, and dive into a full slate of bonus campaign missions and weapon and skin packs, including the Target Führer Wolf Mountain mission. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $17, 30% off, LEGO Voyagers is a 2-player co-op adventure where you and a friend rescue an abandoned spaceship while exploring imaginative, fully interactive LEGO worlds filled with puzzles, creativity, and heartwarming charm. You'll tumble, snap together, and build your way through vibrant brick environments and experience a poetic, nonverbal story supported by an atmospheric soundtrack that emphasizes friendship, teamwork, and discovery. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $12, 60% off, RoboCop Rogue City Unfinished Business is a standalone expansion where RoboCop returns to clean up Omni Tower, facing elite mercenaries and high-tech enemies across every floor of the skyscraper. You'll unleash RoboCop's arsenal, including the iconic Auto 9 and new Cryo Cannon, perform brutal finishing moves, and navigate destructible levels while restoring law and order in a city still rife with crime and corruption. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $15, 50% off, Patapon 1 and 2 Replay is a remastered set of rhythm-driven action-adventure classics where you lead quirky, eyeball-like Patapons using the beat of 4 mystical drums. Each Patapon has a unique class and role, from shield-wielding Tatapons to arrow-shooting Umapons, letting you craft an army, master rhythm-based controls, and forge weapons, while this edition adds adjustable difficulty, timing tweaks, and always visible drum cues. It's an 86 average on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $40, 20% off, Invincible Versus is a brutal 3v3 tag fighting game in the Invincible universe, letting you battle to the death as fan-favorite characters across iconic locations, unleashing bone-breaking combos, super moves, and ultimates through fast combat and smart tactics. Dive into a cinematic story mode with an original narrative, battle through arcade mode, hone your combos and training, and test your skills in competitive and casual multiplayer. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. For $30, 50% off, Final Fantasy XIV Online Complete Edition is a massively multiplayer online RPG that includes the base game and all expansions through Dawn Trail, plus a 30-day free play period. Create your Warrior of Light, explore continents, and engage in epic battles across lands from A Realm Reborn to Heaven's Ward, Stormblood, Shadowbringers, Endwalker, and Dawn Trail, while uncovering storylines, forging alliances, and participating in raids. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and over 1,000 hours to platinum. For $19, 25% off, PowerWash Simulator 2 is a simulation game where you blast grime, dirt, and filth from Muckingham and beyond using an expanded arsenal of power washing tools. Explore new locations like Sponge Valley, Power Falls, and Lubra City, tackle multi-stage jobs that reveal hidden areas, clean vehicles and interiors, and customize your home base with furniture and trinkets while enjoying your cat companions as perfect distractions. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $24, 40% off, Once Upon a Katamari is a new entry in the beloved Rolling series, sending you across time to rebuild the stars after another of the King's cosmic mishaps, told with trademark charm and absurd humor. You'll roll Katamari through imaginative eras, use new support tools like magnets to pull in nearby objects, and enjoy a fresh soundtrack while mastering the series' satisfying, physics-driven chaos across varied, colorful stages. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $17, 30% off. Animal Well is a mysterious and atmospheric exploration game where you navigate a dense labyrinth, uncovering secrets beneath its surface while discovering a world both beautiful and unsettling, full of cryptic lore, hidden paths, and storytelling. You'll collect items to help you manipulate the environment, solve puzzles, avoid dangers, and interact with strange creatures that challenge your perception at every turn. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $15, 70% off. Deception 4, The Nightmare Princess casts you as Valkyria, using kicks, spins, and over 180 devious traps to capture humans and revive the devil across a variety of locales, including new modern stages like a gym, hospital, and park. Dive into a new quest mode following Valkyria's story, use Enemy Edit to craft your own sacrifices, and enjoy all the content from Deception 4 Blood Ties bundled in alongside even more traps and features. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 55 hours to platinum. For $24, 60% off. Sonic Origins Plus is an expansive collection of classic Sonic the Hedgehog games, remastered with enhanced visuals, bonus content, and new playable characters including Amy Rose for the first time across multiple titles and modes. Fans can speed through 4 core titles, explore 12 Game Gear classics, and enjoy additional modes, challenges, and behind-the-scenes extras that expand both gameplay, replay value, and Sonic nostalgia. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $20, 20% off. Demon School is a new style tactics RPG where motion equals action, following Fae and her misfit companions as they defeat monstrous threats between the human and demon worlds while navigating university life on a mysterious island. Rewind actions during the planning phase to create combos, plan your school schedule to level up characters, and build relationships with 15 characters across a light horror story told through huge avatars. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $16, 45% off. The Thing Remastered revives the cult classic survival horror shooter that continues the story of the iconic film, placing you in the frozen nightmare of Antarctica as Captain J.F. Blake amid escalating paranoia and dread. Lead a Special Forces squad through Outpost 31, fighting shape-shifting creatures while managing trust and fear, never knowing which teammates are still human and which may turn on you. It's a 78 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $13, 35% off. Plants vs. Zombies Replanted brings the lane-based tower defense classic back in HD, refreshing the backyard war between plants and zombies with upscaled visuals and modern polish. You'll relive the pea-shooting, sun-collecting chaos through familiar modes alongside bonus levels, fresh challenges, and features like Cloudy Day Mode and the hardcore permadeath option, Rest in Peace, for added difficulty and strategy. It's an 89 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $20, 20% off, People of Note is a turn-based RPG where musical numbers meet combat, following pop singer Cadence rebuilding her act after being shut out of the Noteworthy Song Contest, recruiting musicians from the rock city of Durandus, the EDM city of Lumina, and beyond. Battle through interactive musical performances with evolving conditions, rhythm-based attacks, and genre-bending mashups, while racing to stop dark forces disrupting Note's harmonies. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $20, 60% off. Final Fantasy XVI is an epic dark fantasy RPG where you follow Clive Rossfield, the first Shield of Rosaria, sworn to protect his younger brother Joshua, the Dominant of the Phoenix. When tragedy strikes, Clive is thrust into a gripping tale of vengeance against Ifrit, a dark icon whose catastrophic power threatens the land, as you journey through a beautifully realized world shaped by colossal icons and their wielders. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 75 hours to platinum. For $16, 60% off. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles is a 2-game collection of courtroom adventures, following rookie lawyer Ryunosuke Naruhodo as he unravels conspiracies and delivers dramatic turnabouts in 19th century Japan and England. You'll interview witnesses and collect clues across 10 richly detailed and interconnected murder mysteries, blending clever writing, humor, and surprising emotional depth throughout your journey. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $27, 45% off. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut is an action-adventure brawler where you follow Kazuma Kiryu and Goro Majima through Tokyo and Osaka as their intertwined stories unfold in a gritty crime drama filled with betrayal. Explore detailed city districts, switch between multiple fighting styles, and experience expanded story content and multiplayer modes as you take on missions, side activities, and intense street battles across vibrant locations. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 140 hours to platinum. For $24, 60% off. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate Gold Edition lets you unleash the Turtles and their allies on a fast-paced, action-packed roguelike quest to rescue Splinter from the Foot Clan. This bundle also includes the Casey Jones and the Junkyard Jam DLC, Metalhead Character DLC, and Alapex Character DLC, adding new playable characters, levels, bosses, artifacts, and narrative content for even more action-packed, cooperative fun. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $40, 50% off. Forza Horizon 5 Deluxe Edition sends you on the ultimate open-world driving adventure through the vibrant, ever-evolving landscapes of Mexico, racing hundreds of the world's greatest cars across deserts, jungles, and volcanoes. This edition bundles the full game with the Car Pass for expanded vehicle access, and adds the new 5v1 multiplayer mode Hide and Seek for a fresh, chaotic spin on limitless, fun driving action. It's a 92 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $20, 50% off. Wo Long Fallen Dynasty is a dark fantasy action RPG from Team Ninja set in 184 AD later Han Dynasty China, a land consumed by chaos, corruption, and relentless demon invasions. Step into the shoes of a nameless militia soldier, battling deadly creatures and enemy warriors with martial arts-based swordplay, mastering powerful techniques, and awakening the hidden potential within to survive and rise from obscurity. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $12, 75% off. Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord is an epic Dark Ages sandbox RPG where empires are torn by civil war, kingdoms rise beyond the borders, and you must carve out your own legacy across the vast continent of Palworld. Combine strategic diplomacy, trade, and roguery with skill-based directional combat as you develop your character, recruit companions, and raise armies to command in massive real-time battles and sieges. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 250 hours to platinum. For $26, 35% off. Dragonkin The Banished sends you into a world corrupted by dragon blood, playing as one of 4 legendary hero classes on a mission to hunt down the Dragon Lords, exploring jungles, toxic swamps, glaciers, and volcanoes across a richly detailed world. Team up with up to 4 friends in online co-op, develop your ancestral grid with skills looted from battle, and grow the city of Monoscale into humanity's last true haven as you progress. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 90 hours to platinum. Alright, that's it for today's list, everybody. If you've played any of these already, drop your thoughts in the comments. Your insights help others find great games too, it's not just mine. As always, I want to thank all my channel members for their generous support, but to all you out there who watch, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff as well, thank you. You're the reason I'm still having fun making all these videos every day, and I'm genuinely grateful for each and every one of you out there. If you can spare $1 a month, you get early access to all my videos, and it helps me out more than you know. But I know times are tough out there, so all I do ask is, if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with any new sale stuff that I put out, leave a like, and comment down below if you've got any of these platinums or plan on going for any of them.